start with a formal introduction. Good morning to one and all. Virtually present here for AICT, IST, FDP on day 4, session 2 on pedagogy style and exploration. Herewith we have a very wonderful guest, Mr. R. Srinivasan, CEO, Trecon People Point. He is a trainer in business strategy and organization development. Has 22 plus years in consulting for banking, financial services and insurance sector, telecom and retail. He handles assignments and training pertaining to financial planning, fund management, organization design and structure, business plan and strategy, addition to providing recruitment, monitoring and staffing solutions. He is a JCI designer from JCI University and national trainer. He has been part of zone and national level business and leadership programs. Zyla, Beta, Zone 17, Tycoon, Zone 18, Able, National, Profit Nations, SYPS, Sharpened Professional Skills National, in addition to LAP. He is a master's in business administration and bachelor's in electronics. He shares a passion on providing solutions and implementing them through Trecon Consultancy Group. He also offers programs on money management, financial planning and taxation for individuals and SME. He provides programs and process platforms for product study comparisons, sales planning, product and market orientation, competition management for corporate. He is pursuing analysis-based self-study on financial psychometrics to elicit individual-specific risk-return-based investment opportunities and solutions. He runs Trecon Academy of Career Excellence, an RBI-certified training organization providing certification courses to banks in addition to generate training in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala through a network of 9 centers. His clients include ICICI Bank, Karur Vysya Bank, HDFC Bank, City Union Bank, ABN AMRO, Shakti Finance, IFFCO, Tokyo Life Insurance Corporation Limited, United India Insurance Company, BSNL, Bharti Airtel, Reliance, Vodafone, FCRI, and many more. It gives me a very immense pleasure to welcome you, sir. Now the session is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Sriram sir. Thanks so much, Vanita madam, for inviting me over, and thanks a lot for the most learned crowd here with whom I'm possibly trying to share my journey of this learning as an experience. So let me get it started this way. The most convenient and the most used, right, is the lecture, and that comes essentially from a perspective of a known to an unknown. And for some reason, this has stuck with us. It has stuck with us in a context of like telling like people absolutely are not aware of quite a lot of things. And I know this, and I will tell you like this stayed good for say possibly very 100 years, even some 10-15 years back. And suddenly something by this advent of internet, all which was not known or perceived to be in the close quarters of the educated, the knowledgeable, are suddenly available free over the net. So Management Next, I still remember at 2007 ran an article telling all which these educators prided upon, telling I know this information and you do not know and I can teach you, suddenly is available free. So what would the educators of tomorrow do? So there was a very interesting debate. In fact, there was a consultant who told like he's the person who's going to get hit hard, because like today, whether you're a good teacher or bad teacher, making it understanding or interesting or otherwise, still you are there. But as a consultant, possibly you lose this total job, like because you get paid per assignment or something like that. And they started coming to this debate in 2007. As I just talk, I never thought of it, but this comes fresh in memory. So can I have some views like if all this information which was available is free, why should someone come to us to listen? Anything on the chat? Anything on possibly you can unmute and tell? We have at least 10-15 people there. 17 people, yeah.
Yeah, good
Questioning is
morning, sir.
okay.
My name is Lakshmi.
Yes, Lakshmi madam.
Yeah, so, sir, you know, when we are listening something from Gurumukh, it is different. Then we are referring to something. There's a scope is unlimited scope in internet. It vast, just like a sea information, we can find it out, and it is really hard for us to filter it. But
Mhm.
when we are listening to something from a Gurumukh, the Guru is someone who had filtered it already, and he is there ready to provide it to us. So we are
Awesome.
there to listen.
Awesome, Lakshmi madam. What they generally talk right from a energy to a knowledge is the channelizing. You say like everything is available, but this channelizing is available. And thanks for using this word as guru. I wish and pray that students of today and tomorrow have that as a context and not as a teacher, because Guru is encompassing. He also does the kind of a pre-filtration, understands the context, he understands the student and provides that for that. So thanks a lot for that perspective. Any other idea other than Lakshmi Madam's view? That's an amazing insight. Awesome. Anything else? So channelizing, the guru channelizes, everything is available, but here guru picks and provides is something what Lakshmi Madam had to say. Someone else? Any other thoughts? Okay, as we get going, as people warm up and jog their memory cells, I thought essentially let it be something which we can collaborate on, because this is essentially my experience, and I also was wondering whether like this is good enough to share. But anyway, having come here, I thought. See, this is not very uncommon. Like once I do this filtration, there is next option of coming of like how do we really handle it for the whole set of people, and that is a dimension incidentally I have taken to speak. This is something which I picked up somewhere in the net, right? Again, courtesy all this unlimited WhatsApp messages. Camel and child. Definitely, you should have heard the story. Camel's child suddenly has a look at hippopotamus and asks, "Mummy, mummy, why is that we are different and not like a hippo?" He says, "No, no, no, we are from the desert." And they get into a dialogue telling, "Why do I have long legs so that I can walk on the sand? Why do I have a hump so that I can hold water? So everything. Why do I have a snout so that I can eat cactus? Why do I have a teeth like this so that I can munch the most hardest of the vegetation which is available in the desert?" Things like that. The dialogue keeps going. Uh, so this is something like what happens as a small toddler, like as a toddler comes in, he comes and asks something a very, very fundamental question, okay, which actually rakes us up, but still we have a patience of answering it. Okay, why is the light? Why is this light yellow and why is this light orange? Why is this called a switch and not by some other name? So it gets into a dialogue at one point, and finally the camel child is by and large convinced. He says, "I have one last question, but why are we in the zoo? So if we are totally designed to be in a desert, why are we in a zoo?" For this, the mother doesn't answer. The story ends telling it's possibly a Zen kind of a thing. No? You're led to a contemplation mode and they just leave it. So there's no story ending. This is something what happens to our students as well. So by and large, they have been asking a lot of questions. You also build up this patience answer, but somewhere we get to lose that kind of a clarity telling, "Oh my God, even I do not know. And I didn't ask my parent. And no, today I see this guy asking me." So that is something which I thought we will take as a central theme of today and tell like how much of justice can we do to this learning population of tomorrow. Gone are the days where, like how Lakshmi Madam told, like the teacher was perceived as a guru, a person, a personification of God or the divine, who chooses what to be delivered at a very, very appropriate time. And he is all ultimate. He gets the respect, he gets the regard, and he is acknowledged for his not knowledge but wisdom. So that is where I just wanted to tell. So as I just get into, I also want to know, like, what was your favorite subject? What was your favorite teacher? Who was your favorite teacher? And who was your favorite thinker, or someone who his ideas, possibly Osho, possibly someone Rajinish, someone like Warren Buffett. I'm sure, like, we don't have time, we'll just keep going. So, incidentally, your favorite subject and favorite teacher has done something to you. Say, for instance, if you like history, and another person says, "Oh my God, history, I don't like," means it has nothing to do with the subject. It has to do with the teacher, the Gurumukh who had delivered this content. Just let us look into, do a little bit of what they call as psychology. They have a beautiful term, past life regression. Go back to the past life and see, and it is used as a psychotherapeutic tool as well of late. But I'm just saying, let us jog back to our possibly childhood, and most of us, this is something which I've done on a very open floor. What you wanted to become in life in age of say 5 or 6, when you started moving around, started meeting people? Can we have some choices? What is it you wanted to become? We have 22 people here, and you should wanted to have become something in your life. No. Hello. Okay. Let me
Yes,
not.
sir.
No, no.
Could you
What is
hear
it you
me?
wanted to be as a child to become? What is it you wanted to become as a child? 6, 7 years, 4, 5 years.
I want to become a good dancer, sir.
Uh,
That was my wish.
okay, superb. What else? Other people, can I hear?
Sir, I wanted to become a doctor actually.
Awesome. Awesome. I have done a small bit of not a research, but I've just gone around to check this up. Majority of people wanted to become one of these four: doctor, police, teacher, or pilot. Most of us wanted to, and ironically, none of us want to do that now. After we grow up, that is not something what we want to do. Because I feel like there are four elements which I feel is the whole core and the fulcrum of the whole pedagogy. A teacher, a profession is selected because of certain reasons. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a pilot. Pilot is something very commonly I have heard students tell. I wanted to be a pilot, sir, nothing else. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a police. And that is the last option today when after you grow up, because I feel there are four elements to the whole pedagogy, the whole system of transference. And those four is what I have called as four I's. Okay, it is not from Google, it is from my Srinivasan theory. The four I: one is influence, second is impression, third is inspiration, fourth is involvement. So influence, impression, inspiration, involvement. And I feel any type of pedagogy you do today, there are a lot of pedagogy techniques which I say I will do definitely an injustice if I'm going to talk about it. But if for the larger understanding, so the 10 modern pedagogy techniques are right from incidental learning, computational learning, argumentation, adaptive teaching, analytics of emotion, context based learning, embodied learning, crossover learning, and stealth assessment. And don't worry noting it, it is all available in Google, and I'm not going to talk about it. My objective is not to repeat what Google says. But here I thought it can be any name you call. You can get any fancy name tomorrow. But unless until as a say a person who's transferring knowledge, which eventually has to become wisdom, you have to be in one of these four. Either you have to be an influencer, you should create an impression, you should be an inspiration, or you should get them involved. The least is this involvement. Anyone can do it. And I feel, in fact, given a chance, if it is for not AICTE, I would want to call this program half plus half, because one half mark, what I struggled to get failing continuously in my social sciences until 8th standard. And teacher always used to give one half mark, and so that I get a rank and not get scolded at home. I used to fail exactly somehow. I do not know how it happened, anywhere between 38 and a half, 39 and a half, and 40 was considered to be a pass. So I would, in fact, this was called grace marks. Go ask for this grace marks. I used to stand always in front of my social science teacher Hema, and with all resentment tell like, when will you stop doing this? And I did something which was very bad, and eventually she said, after 8th standard, I will not give you a half mark at all. See, that is something what pushed me today. It is not like asking students to come out of comfort zone. It is nudging them, pushing them a little bit, so that they understand what they are capable for. And you will not believe, this is somewhere in 8th standard, half yearly, and 10th standard, when I just came out to receive this 10th standard marks. It was not online those days. Used to come to pick up this mark sheet. She was standing in the front, and that was the last person I wanted to meet in the school. Okay. My history teacher, Hema, she was laughing at me, smiling at me. She said, "Did you see the marks?" That's all. My heart skipped not one but many beats. I said, "Madam, what happened?" She says, "No, go pick your mark sheet and come to me." Shivering, I ran, picked the mark sheet, never even bothered to see whether I have cleared my 10th or not. Forget about what I did in social science, ran and gave it to her. I told, "Madam, what happened? What should I do?" I was thinking I have to possibly write again. Then she said, "Did you see your social science marks?" I said, "No, madam. I was scared. I learnt my very best. I did my best, but I'm not, I didn't see the mark." She said, "See, you have the mark sheet. No, why don't you see?" Then I saw it was 83 percentage. I said, "Madam, 83, madam. I'm surprised, madam." She said, "You know what this means?" I said, "I don't know, madam, but more than 2 times of mark which I used to get in class." That's all I still remember telling. She told, "My God, you are school first." That little nudging, the moment when she told she will not give half mark, you either pass on your own, it is enough of this grace marks. She started telling like, I am capable, in a very different manner. And this little nudge, you may be wondering like, is it a nudge? It is. Because I know going forward, I will not get that half a mark, and I have to work out for that half a mark. And this half mark started happening. And today I will tell honestly, I wanted to get into +2. That was one of the initial ambitions of my life. You know why? Because after 10th, there is no social science. I still don't understand why should I know who's father of Babar. If you ask me who's grandfather of my grandfather, there is some sense. But still, I don't see a reason why I should know who's grandfather of Babar or grandson of Aurangzeb. It never meant. But after that, I started loving history. That's a total different part. So these are the four elements, half and half. I'll just come to another half, possibly due to during the end of the session. So either you need to influence people, impress people, inspire people, involve people. Take any kind of a pedagogy style. People who have influence. See, doctor because he used to give injection. Police because your father also used to be afraid of. Teacher because they were controlling, and pilot something unimaginable, something going up, and this guy is able to. These were all our influences, and these influences, whether positive or negative, gives a massive impact on the child's life. Say, for instance, if I'm able to talk a little decent English on a the other flip side, I had an English teacher called Leela, and Leela madam told Srinivasan, "I'm sure you will never ever speak one line in English in ever in your life." Down with tears, I said, "I'm studying in an English medium school. I was not concentrating much on language. I thought communication was language independent. Of course, no, that the stream has come, but I'm talking about some 30 years back, 35 years back." Then I said I should somehow start talking in English. And Leela, madam, she was also the vice principal, and for some reason she didn't like me at all. So I was one person who was always reprimanded. And when I became a trainer much later, and when I had people all over coming and listening to me, There's still one unfulfilled wishes. I want Leela madam to come and say, madam, no, I'm able to talk in English, and there is so many people coming and listening to me somewhere. I think I wish I get to, because I could identify other teachers of my school, but Leela madam is still say a person whom I've still not got connected with. So this is all about influence, and that is on a formative stage. So formative stage, even you, if you are a teacher teaching, say, graduation, be that kind of an influence. See that whether you can do that. Second is kind of impression. Students move from this influence to the impression. See, and we also get into that kind of impression. And I feel there are four larger things of impression universally. One is the control, either it is finances or resources. The person who has a control over finances or resources. Say take your college, you have the hierarchy, right? So the person who's controlled is something is always expected to be the best. The principal is the best, the secretary is the best. So that's a control. Second comes the power. Possibilities in politics or even in any organization, you feel there is a power which is dispersed. Third is fear. Okay, and I feel the fear that I'll never be able to speak English was one of the nudging points where I started building up my communication pretty late at 10th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard is somewhere. And just think, this fear can be such a awesome motivator. I will tell you, that is why psychology calls this as eustress. There is something called as stress and two components of it, distress and eustress. Eustress is a positive stress. And I feel as educators, you can do something awesome. Because tell me, what is an motivation for a suicide bomber? And I used to study among them, because if you can convince someone to give up their life, I think which is the most precious for anyone. Okay, the survival instinct is the most. Even for a person who wants to commit suicide, you close your nose and hold it on. Yeah, what I will tell, forget about your suicide. Yeah, I want to breathe. Okay, so use that as a pinch of salt and flavor it up in terms of bringing their careers the best and out. And finally, which I feel is non-negotiable, a control power. Fear is something on a very negative connotation. I would not recommend you use more than 1 or 2%, but 98% what I have felt from my teachers who have left an amazing impression in my life are people with universal love. In fact, it was so happy when Madam told, give that the best to your students, because please understand, your children are with some other professors as well. Some other teachers are teaching your children. So just think, if what you expect from the teachers of your children, give that to yours. And what else can you give, especially being mothers? Unlimited love, unlimited compassion, unlimited understanding. So your question may come, okay, are they going to take it for granted? If you feel like we are taking mother for a granted, go ahead and feel. But I'll tell you, the impact which you leave in their lives is going to be phenomenal. You would have touched their hearts. See, that is something which we get a lot to miss. Being in a commercial venture, we don't get an opportunity to touch their hearts. Possibly we touch their wallets, but touching the hearts, only you can have come up with an amazing compassion and love. And I feel the pedagogy style starts coming on it. So that is about the impression. Next comes the inspiration, and that is the core element which you should be as educators teaching, especially people in say teens and above. Because this inspiration is something like, oh my God, just think about this person, huh? The way he educated, and that is what is required. Just let us look it into a perspective. Summation of series, because you are all professors there, we should have all read the summation of series, 8th and 9th standard. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, and I mean in 9, 10. What is the number? Oh my God, is it out of syllabus? Okay. We have something called summation of series. And if you get into seeing like how the summation of series was conceived, not as an algorithm, not as in a formula, not as in research, but by a student of 7th standard. And the teacher wanted him to keep quiet because she had urgent work to go home, take care of some chores at home. So she said, students, sit and total from 1 to 100. She wrote everything on the board and she was about to leave to the door. This boy puts up a hand, tells, teacher, it is 5050. You know what will be the immediate reaction from the teacher? It is like, keep quiet, go ahead and do it again. But that was correct answer. You know, how did you do it? Don't tell n into n plus 1 divided by 2. We also have studied. No, that is not it. This is the formula, right? There is a genesis to this formula. And if you are able to make them think on this genesis, give them a perspective and the flavor of the genesis, give them the thought how this can be thought, then you possibly don't need formula at all. No, because I know only 20 of us are there on say on connected and rest of us are connected over YouTube. I would tell like how he visualized. Instead of adding 1 plus 2 is 3, so 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, going in that fashion, which is very linear and it's difficult after a stage. He told he visualized this all 100 numbers floating in front of his eyes. He added the first and the last 100 plus 1, 101, 99 plus 2, 101, 98 plus 3, 101. Wow, everything is 101. And how much pairs I get? 50 pairs. So 50 of 101 is 5050. Bingo. That led to a formula that is totally different. But once you teach them to think in terms of a perspective and not in terms of formulae, formulas are not required. And this is where I want to bring back to this management next book. Lakshmi madam told like it is about filtering it out. The second important thing what I want to tell is build that perspective. Make them think in that particular angle, which you would have never thought. And for that, you need a lot of preparation. Make all students answer everything. And still, if you can come up with one view which they have never thought, you become an inspiration. That is the best and the ideal way to be an inspiration is like they can think everything. All the 40 in your class can think. But can you think one thing more? And I'll tell you two things are the benefit. Not only that from being an impressive person to an inspiring person in terms of pedagogy you become, but I'll tell you, you will feel good. In addition to your monthly packet, which makes you happy every month, you will be feeling happy every moment of giving him that little perspective. So this is something which I thought teachers, educators are not for transferring knowledge, but making them wise, and the wise wisdom can come only by giving a perspective which possibly they have never thought. So in this becomes a kind of a challenging, it is like a mental gym. People start thinking, analyzing, processing so that education becomes automatic. Just think about this beautiful thing, no? So this is something, and in fact I want to also tell like it is not only the perspective, also make it practically connected, because we feel like when we go for interviews, and because like I also have a staffing company and we staff for a lot of banks and telecom and media companies, and we have been doing for close to 24 years. One thing what I get pretty disappointed, or possibly the reason why we reject most of them, is people do not have a practical view of anything at all. Say possibly if I go and ask them a formula, they may tell, but I'll tell, boss, forget about it. Tell me one particular use of it. They'll tell, sir, it's a formula. My teacher told, please see, I have got 95 marks, but 95 marks doesn't help you in life. And that is why you see possibly not so very intelligent people. Okay, it is not that I'm taking away the pride of being intelligent. Definitely, it's a God gift, and I being a kind of not that number one kind of a student. I was absolutely a kind of a mid-ranger. I found me coming progressing in life because like I could get this practical connect. And in fact, it is very interesting. No, yesterday, 16 December 2020. And if people know, that is also called as a Pythagorean Day. And incidentally, Pythagorean Day is not something which happens every year on 16 December 2020. It happens only in certain years. The previous time it happened was on 15th August 2017. So are you able to connect? Yesterday was a Pythagorean Day, 16 December 2020. And the previous time it was not in 19, it was not in 18, and in 17 it was 15th August. Are we able to connect something? Pardon me for the questions. No, I want to know like whether you're awake. Yesterday was a Pythagorean day. Previous was 15th August 2017. Any guess? It's easy guess. I hear someone switching on the mic, awaiting an answer.
Yesterday it was
Yesterday was
Vijay Divas.
no, not Vijay Divas. That is all okay. But yesterday was also called a Pythagorean day. Okay, I'll give you a clue. It has to do something with Pythagoras theorem. Pythagorean day, 16 December 2020, yesterday. And it is not celebrated same day every year. The previous was 15th August 2017. Any guess? Okay. Possibly if you are on a personal one-to-one, then we would have got something to really share. But here, 16 square plus 12 square is equal to 20 square. And previously this happened in 15 square to August 8 square equal to 17 square. Okay, so this is called the Pythagorean day or Pythagoras theorem, the sides of a right angle triangle, all that stuff. Okay. Now, my question is coming back to what Vanita madam was telling. What is the practical use of this Pythagoras theorem? Most of the students are not even aware. And this is because like we have never asked them to connect with a kind of a practical dimension to something what we teach. Possibly, yeah, you could tell like my teachers never taught, but that doesn't refrain you from teaching it that way. That is what I largely feel. And my teachers whoever kindled this perspective or connect are the people today I remember. It is not the person who had multiple PhDs. In fact, I don't even remember what my teachers learned, but what my teachers taught is something what I remember. And that is what makes a huge difference. No. Can anyone of you tell what is the practical use of Pythagoras theorem? Again, the clue is this: a mobile. One particular application uses this. Hello. Good afternoon. Are someone answering in chat? I will also check that as well. Yeah, 16 square plus 12 square equal to 2020. Jagannathan as a guest. Oh, wow, Jagan, hi. So we had a guest answering that. Got it.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I was also not sure about that. I checked in internet and I found out like navigation.
Superb, superb. So the whole Google Maps works on your Pythagoras theorem, and happy that you told like you used a tool. This is the third point, madam. Today we do not expect like previously to this person to come and tell Pythagoras theorem, but at least you should know where to search for this Pythagoras theorem. See, if you searched in the internet, found it out, then you found out navigation uses this, your whole Google Maps works on this fundamental philosophy of Pythagoras theorem. That's it. So I understand this fellow is not only knowledgeable, but has common sense. And you know what we find as employers, our biggest challenge, the most uncommon thing is common sense. So, because our learning pedagogy has been more confined to the rut system, I teach, you read, you vomit, and you get marks. We never gave a scope for them to think. And thanks, madam, you did that. And even I feel you can extend this to a memory. We'll just do something very small. I will ask you, I'll give you a bunch of colors to remember. Let us see who can reproduce. Green, yellow, violet, red, orange, blue. 6 colors. Anyone?
Green, yellow, violet, orange, red. I missed out one, I think, sir.
Super. Yeah, you did miss one. Okay. Is there a why did you miss out one, madam? Because it is just not even a second before I told you.
It was not in the sequence of Vibgya.
Wow, beautiful. So you have a mental pattern of you wanted in WebGR, right? And I never spoke about WebGR,
Yes,
but
but
still your
suddenly when I
mind
was
goes
hearing
into
about the colors, I recollected, I connected it with Vibgya.
superb, because that is what we teach. Now, if green, yellow, violet, red, orange, blue is what I have asked, if you are able to build that perspective, you will know it is WebGR minus indigo. Madam, do you understand? I didn't ask indigo because
Exactly, sir.
that's it. Now, at any point of time, even after 2 years, I come and tell Madam, what are these 6 colors I asked? Will you be able to remember?
Yeah, sir,
Violet,
definitely.
WebGR minus indigo.
Yes.
So the whole idea is we have a kind of a learning method, we have a kind of a picture, and that is where something what Vanita Madam wanted me to speak comes into a very, very important thing is the storytelling. Moment you get into a kind of a picture form or a previous recall of a memory, mind you, our mind stores most of it in a lot of ways. I'm not getting into a neuro learning method at all. But what I'm telling is the best recall way is by picture. Say if I'm going to tell all this another set of pink, black, brown, yellow, violet, gray. Now you don't have a Vibgr to help you. How will you remember pink, black, brown, yellow, violet, gray? But if you are able to bring it into a picture, a girl with a pink color sari, black color hair, brown color eyes, yellow color dupatta, and a violet color handbag, gray color shoe, will you not be able to remember? So this is what I want to tell. If this picture can be so powerful, storytelling is awesomely powerful. That is why we just got glued to our grandmothers. Even when we didn't want to eat anything for dinner, grandma would be telling a story, and even without we knowing that we are having our food, we would have had our food because we got so engrossed and our mind started putting up these pictures. And I'll tell you today for everything in YouTube, you have some explainer videos. They call them explainer videos. The some concept like your Byju's, why they are today successful because everything is visually explained. But I'll tell you, honestly, we are taking away the creativity. If you can be the Baiju there, if you can make him visualize, and each one will have a story of my own. I will have my story, which is different from what Vanita Madam has, what Lakshmi Madam has, or what Jagan or Sriram has. And that is something what mine is. And this story will remain forever. And I need not prepare, get tension about exam. Every time the story will be ready to come back. And it comes with a lot of pleasure. I will tell you 10th standard. If I'm going to ask you, what is the definition of, what do I ask? Catalyst. Then you make catalyst is something and something. But if I tell first standard Ringa Ringa Roses, Baba Black Sheep, we all remember. How's that? Something which we did even 10 years before, then the day when we don't remember is there because we enjoy doing. And that is where the pedagogy method of getting something enjoyable. Forget about all the techniques, whatever you use. I'm leaving it to you. There is so many techniques, and I'm here not to teach techniques. Techniques are available for. But if you can create any one of these, either you can impress, you can influence, or you can leave that lasting impact of visualization, then these people need not study at all. Take one case like possibly I would just end. I think yeah. Wow, I'm almost just 4 5 minutes before 12:30. I think there's a time. I would end with a small story of a movie Dasavataram. I do not know like because people who are outside. At least it is a Kamal's very famous movie where
Sir,
Kamal acted in. Sorry.
sir, excuse me. Like we can have the session till one, sir. We'll have time till one.
No, I actually prepared for 1 hour, madam. I'll finish in
No,
another five
sir,
minutes. If
just
there
I'm
are any
saying that
questions, we'll
we
take
can,
it forward. Yeah, sure.
yeah, now hear from you. So that is the reason we don't want to
Yeah, yeah.
restrict. So that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reason.
sure. Sure.
Based on that.
Thank you, madam. Yeah.
Yes.
So Dasavataram is one classic of Kamala Hassan. At least Kamala Hassan is a kind of a national figure. No, he's a political figure as well. He acted in 10 different forms. Okay. And they were considered to be very, very exclusive, things like that. That is about the acting piece. Now, Dasavataram was based on one theory of science. Can anyone tell which was this? It was based on one concept of science. I'm sure because I see most of the names are South Indian names, and so you would have definitely seen this Dasavataram movie sometime. It was based on one theory of science.
Sir, butterfly effect.
And what is that called, madam? Chaos theory. Okay. And do you remember how was it depicted in that movie? The chaos theory. The chaos theory as a word was never spoken in the movie. But if you would have seen the movie, the first frame somewhere Rajinikanth as a president of US talk, you will see a butterfly flutter in the corner of the screen. That movie. End of the movie when the heroine tells, so I will be with you only when if you believe God. He will tell, no, I'm not telling, I'm not believing God. I only wish that God is there. Again, that butterfly flutters. So for a guy with amazing intellect, knowledge, a guy with a kind of 180 IQ level, that butterfly is enough to tell this whole story is on chaos theory. He didn't utter a word chaos theory. This butterfly effect is what generally commonly known. But for a very, very ordinary person, someone who doesn't understand anything. In fact, Shankar, in a beautiful interview, the director told people started telling, boss, you have taken a chaos theory kind of a thing and try to explain in a movie and people will get confused. So what he told, Shankar in one of the interviews told, he called up his gardener and told, be very frank, just don't tell because I'm your boss. Your job is preserved. Please tell, did you like this movie? He said, sir, awesome movie, sir. Chance? No chance. There's no chance is something telling superb. Huh? Okay, that's our regular dialect. Then he says, okay, what is that you understood? He said, sir, what are you telling like this? I understood everything what you told. So he was surprised. He said, I didn't tell about chaos theory or butterfly effect. How is that this person able to relate? He told, sir, very simple. You told, however powerful someone is there, if he is not good in his approach, he will meet his end. Good versus evil. The karmic theory, what you sow, so you reap. I understood it. So Shankar was odd. He said, my thought, I thought of a chaos theory, meaning one flutter of a butterfly can create a cyclone enough, the cause and effect of the signs. This person understood it in such a simple way. So he told, I left all my doubts, forget about the theater tricks, cinematography, the storyline, and the nuances of the dialogue. Someone from telling like this has to be preserved in salt and the hero goes searching all the way for sodium chloride, and he understands a scavenger completely filling up himself with salt before he gets into the manhole to take out the sludge. And as we go to the end of the movie, if you have seen it for the first time, you wonder like what will happen because it needs tons and tons of sodium chloride. We also miss the very basic fact salt is the important ingredient of sea. So you start seeing even tsunami in a total different perspective. We do not know like whether something like that happened, but you start seeing this perspective, and that is where the flavor of that intelligence comes, that intelligence transfers to wisdom. And if we are able to do this in terms of adopting any pedagogy, and more so in terms of storytelling, where you are able to visualize and make this person understand, realize, and store this information, this is not available, this knowledge is available for this person, not only for exams but for life. And I think as educators, our objective is essentially to teach them how to live rather than just pass. So I feel in this particular aspect, I feel like we are more responsible. And I understand you have academic compulsion of completing the subjects within particular time and things like that, but still had a lot of professors of mine who made this possible in instigating me to think. And today, whatever I'm there, like Professor Ramakrishnan, Hema teacher, Leela madam, Professor Panchanathan, PG Rajan, are the people who made me think. And today I totally vow to them. And because of that is what, because someone feels like, okay, we can call Srinivasan to come and talk. So with that note of gratitude to all my teachers, mentors, Manika Madam, the Karpagam University, I thank, and I think I'm just there at 59 minutes and 58 seconds. And thanks a lot and all the best. Open to questions, not for the me being wiser, but to give my perspective. And most of it I may not know, but I would definitely share what little bit I can add in case if there are any questions. Thank you and over to you, Madam.
Thank you very much, sir. We have almost 1 hour. We didn't feel that at all, sir. We really enjoyed it, I would say. I think almost all faculty, they must have gone back to their school days and college days, remembering all their mentors. So you had given us that wonderful opportunity, sir. Thank you very much for that.
Thanks so much, Madam. Thanks for
Yeah.
the opportunity.
Yes, sir. So may I request the participants to open up, like, come up with your queries or questions if you have for our resource person. Kindly you can ask it now. Because sir is into HR field and he's into recruitment and he's into consultancy and so many aspects. So you can ask questions related to corporate connectivity also. He'll be able to answer you from that area also.
Thanks, Nalini, Madam. I want to
Okay,
make
sir.
it simple because always people tell uh, making it simple is the most difficult thing.
Probably, I think constantly, yeah, they have given it a chat box, like like pedagogy is explained so simply, and thank you for that. And it is the best session like that they've started giving. And then many faculty, that is what, probably because of their network and the data usage, many of them, they are not openly coming up for the conversation. Instead, they put it in the chat box and they convene it.
I have kept the chat box open, Madam. I'm just looking at
No,
that
I'm
as
thinking about YouTube
oh,
live chat.
YouTube. Okay.
That
So,
is all.
Sriram sir, if there are any questions at all, I'll be more than happy to know the questions rather than answer the questions.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have been attending your session, sir. It has been a very wonderful experience. The way you connected the context with movie is another excellent thing, sir.
Thanks so much.
Because nowadays we got stuck into media, especially movie. So I think people could learn more through movies, leaving behind the bad things through movie. That is different issue. But as you said, the way you said, we could remember many things through, the way you explained about colors. Yeah, I think it is a good exercise for our brain to remember things.
Thank you,
It was so
Sriram
nice.
sir.
It was a great experience for me to listen to your session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks is to Vanita, Madam, who thought like I'm worth the salt to come and talk on this subject. You are all very learned, sir. So I just shared my experience, and thanks actually goes to all my mentors and gurus.
Thank you, sir. So
Thank you.
that was as our faculty members mentioned. Many a times, like, okay, we must have enjoyed it when we were students, certain like the tactics, the strategies that our faculty have followed. But when we get into the shoes of a faculty or a teacher, out of other pressures that we get during, like while delivering our responsibilities, we forget the area, we forget to enjoy or have fun in the classroom, right? So today, once again, you made all the faculty members to realize by taking them back to their school days and college days. So I'm sure at least with us, they'll be able to bring in real fun and happiness in the classroom with whatever pedagogical input they can take it in the classroom. So that the other point is that the audio, impact of audio visual aspects. That's really true. That is the reason why nowadays we go for smart classrooms. And that too, now during this pandemic break also, like we had all online sessions. Initially, we all felt like it won't be possible, or it will be boring, or we will not be so effective. But as you rightly mentioned, the small strategies, whatever you mentioned so far, whomever have tried it in their online classroom, and I'm sure they must have enjoyed. Now, like we don't feel it like an online program at all. We're not virtual. We are connected, and we take it as a mutual win-win sort of thing. So in that way, you have made us feel good and happy about whatever right things we are doing with our students. And on behalf of ACT and IST, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you for sharing your experience and knowledge with all of us. So on behalf of all the participants and on my own behalf, I'd like to once again thank you for the wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, madam. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
So the participants, we are requesting you to join to the next session by 2 o'clock. It is a session on gamification. As already been instructed, if you could join with your laptop, it would be much more better for you to have hands-on experience. You can try it out because the resource person will be giving us some inputs based on the free softwares and tools available online. So you can install it here when he's presenting. He's asking us to install it. We can install it and we can give it a try online. Okay. Happy learning, all of you. Meet you by 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you.